On today's episode, we're going to talk about food. More importantly, food from the US I just can't get in Germany. We're going to get controversial, so stick around and find out what made the list. Hello, Yin Lieblings. I'm Madi, a science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Today we're going to talk about food, American food, or better put, food that I can find in the States and can't find in Germany. I say this will be controversial because I know that just by making this video, there will at least be one comment from a smartass who thinks they're original and saying that American food is shit and we're all fat because all we eat is junk food. I've heard it before. And while I live in Germany, I will likely never stop hearing it, especially from people who have never been to the States and thus don't see firsthand how food in the US is actually much more expensive than in Germany. Thus, buying fresh fruit and vegetables can be impossible for those in poverty. Junk food is considerably cheaper than healthier food, so those same people resort to what they can find and afford. US also doesn't have the same labor protection laws as in Germany, so you have folks who work 2 to 3 jobs that equal more than 10 hours of work and not having that 11-hour buffer between jobs, so food has to be quick, convenient, and cheap. And we also have food deserts, a concept you will not find in Germany. A food desert is an area where there are no stores that supply healthy and nutritious foods. This is also found in poorer areas where these people can't afford a car to drive to the nearest grocery store. A lot of times, all you can find are stores that only carry cheap, chemical-laden fast food, and, well, just that. I know I'm already ranting and I haven't actually started this video, but reducing Americans' complicated relationship with food to a simple soundbite is simply something that comes from a place of ignorance. There is truth to it. I'm not trying to step away from that fact, but there's also a lot more at play, and I just want you to take a second and question your bias. But my list today actually has nothing to do with junk food, but I did want to bring that up. I am here today to talk about the good stuff. The really good stuff. The stuff I usually have to eat while I'm at home in the States because I miss it so much while I'm in Germany. I do have my favorites in Germany, and if you are curious to learn what those are, I've already made a video, so go check that out. And until then, we're going to talk about what Germany is missing. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you haven't already. Here on Adventures of Lamadi, we talk about writing, living abroad, and everything in between. The first one on my list is Peruvian food. I am half Peruvian and I have been spoiled. There are Peruvian restaurants in Germany, of course, but it's very expensive to bring things into Germany. So what I have seen in terms of the menu pales in comparison to what you find in the States. I went to a Peruvian restaurant in Nuremberg a few years ago, and what they had was delicious. I mean, I recommend the restaurant, but they didn't have Inca Cola, which is blasphemous. I mean, not having a Peruvian beer is one thing. I mean, not having Cusqueña or Cristal or whatever, even in the States, you're rather hard-pressed to find it. But no golden cola? However, I have heard that one of the best places to eat Peruvian food is in Europe, is in Milan. I do have plans to go back to Milan so I can test this theory out. This was actually recommended to me by another European Peruvian. Yes, we all know each other. And I'm like related to half of them. Another food I miss is Mexican food. I know we're spoiled in the US because Mexico is like right there. But of all the Mexican cuisine that I miss, I actually miss chorizo the most. And you're probably wondering, we have chorizo in Europe, you silly American. Now we have Spanish chorizo, and that is not the same as Mexican chorizo. And my mom knows this and always stocks up on this chorizo so I can have it for breakfast. I miss it so much. Next is Creole food. Granted, Creole food is originally from Louisiana, and my introduction to this awesome cuisine was through a restaurant owned by a Creole chef from New Orleans. It's just so good. The restaurant's called Yats. I love it. I always try to go to Yats when I'm in Indy because you can get a ton of food for cheap, and it is a literal explosion of flavor. Next on my list is a proper barbecue place. So I have to preface this by saying that barbecue culture has taken root in Germany. And if you have a friend who has a good grill and patience, you will find good barbecue. I'm talking about these American restaurants that you find in Germany that sell a plethora of American staples, and that also includes barbecue ribs. Never get ribs at these places, guys. Never. Proper ribs and barbecue takes several hours, and if you're looking for that in the States, you usually have to go to a place that specializes in this kind of food because they dedicate all their time to it. If it's one dish of a bigger menu that doesn't cater to barbecue, you are most likely getting something that is frozen and that's quickly heated. It won't be good. I have yet to find a proper barbecue place here in Germany that does that. However, last summer, my husband and I invested in a Traeger grill, so we actually do our best barbecue at home. So, not impossible, but sometimes it is nice to go to an actual restaurant for these things. And lastly, American diners. I miss being able to go to a diner at any time because they're open 24 hours and having breakfast for dinner. I mean, it's not just the food, it's also the atmosphere. It's very laid back and chill where you're allowed to just go and hang out and have coffee all for a long time. Like I said, 24 hours. But I mean, we're all really just there for the breakfast, especially for a good plate of biscuits and gravy. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll make breakfast for dinner tonight. What about you? What food would you like to see in Germany? Or if you found a good place that has any of this food on my list, let me know because I will totally check it out if we're ever allowed to travel again. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want fun escapism, my space fantasy The God Queen is available in ebook, paperback, and hardback, and the sequel The Last Imperator is also available for pre-order. And if you have pre-ordered, don't forget to sign up for the TLI pre-sale giveaway. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get the first 6 chapters of The God Queen as well as the prequel short story The Knight and the Goddess, so sign up. Also, if you've read any of my work or the work of your favorite author, please leave reviews. They really help us authors out and it is free to do so. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, ade!